Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams. Today we're going to be going over the waiver wire for week 14. We're getting closer to the playoffs. Time to get some people to help you go from right outside the playoffs to jumping right in. Not a great waiver wire this week, but we're going to see what we can do. Starting off with the quarterback position, Taysom Hill. I told you to grab him last week. And he paid off. He played pretty solid this week, even though he hurt his hand. I'm currently under the impression that he's going to play this week, and he plays the Jets, so you definitely want to fire him up. Even if he can't throw it, he's going to be fine with his legs. Moving on to Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke is going against the Dallas Cowboys, and that is not going to be a low-scoring game. I definitely think this should be a back-and-forth affair, and Taylor Heinicke might be coming from behind. Up next, we have Cam Newton. Now, I know that we're not excited about Cam Newton because of that terrible outing last week, but he is going to be going up against the Atlanta Falcons, and that's not a matchup that scares you. Moving on to the wide receiver position. Russell Gage, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, played really well last week. 11 receptions for 130 yards. Let's go! I definitely think you can fire him up this week. They're going against the Panthers, and clearly, Russell Gage is going to be involved in the offense. Next up, we have KJ Osborne. With Adam Thielen going down to a high ankle sprain, I don't think he's going to be back this week. And if that's the case, KJ Osborne is going to be more involved. All the passes can't go to Justin Jefferson. Up next, we have Devontae Parker for the Miami Dolphins. Even though the Dolphins are on a bye this week, I do think that he's a solid add moving forward. Devontae Parker is a solid wide receiver, and he might help you in the playoffs. Next up, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that he's a solid grab. He got some work last week. 10 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown. Not bad, not bad. I know he's on the Lions, but that just means they're going to be down, right? Except for the fact that they won this week. Let's go. Bravo. Good job, Detroit, getting your first win of the year. Congrats on not going winless. Moving on to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He's a solid wide receiver that's a little boomer bust, but he has had 19 targets in the last 2 weeks, which is pretty good for a wide receiver. He doesn't catch all of these targets, but when you're throwing it 30 yards downfield every time, you're not going to catch all of them. Moving on to the running back position. Other than this first one, I'm really not excited about any of these guys. So I'm just going to rattle through them. Sony Michel is the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. And yes, Darrell Henderson did play, but he played. Sony Michel was clearly the lead guy, and there's a chance that that happens again this week. I definitely think he's worth an add. He may not be out there, but you should definitely check. Moving forward, these are guys that I'm not crazy excited about, but I still think they get some work. Dontrell Hilliard and Deontay Foreman, running backs for the Tennessee Titans. With the wide receiver core being injured, I know Julio Jones may be coming back, but that wide receiver core is not doing great. The Titans' identity is still to run the ball, and I think both of them should get some play. Up next with the Seattle Seahawks backfield, Adrian Peterson is somewhat relevant again. He had 11 carries for 16 yards and a touchdown. Not really excited about that. And Rashad Penny, first-round draft pick a couple years ago. You may have forgotten him because he hasn't been relevant. But he looks like he's going to get some runs, so if you're desperate, you could throw him in there. Not really excited about it, though. Tevin Coleman also seems like he's getting some work. He had 11 rushes last week. If you're desperate, you can throw him in. Not really excited about it, though. Especially not going against these Saints. These next three are just going to be viable if the injury to the main player continues and they can't play. Kenneth Gainwell, running back for the Eagles, and Boston Scott, also for the Eagles. Miles Sanders got dinged up in this game, so we don't know his status. Now, they are on bye, but there's a chance that Miles Sanders misses this game. Also, Jordan Howard's still banged up, so Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott could be speculative adds. And on that same note, Carlos Hyde could be a solid add if James Robinson doesn't end up playing. Like I said, just in case injuries, might want to get a handcuff. Moving on to the tight end position, Tyler Conklin is a solid add. With Adam Thielen going down, I definitely think they're going to be utilizing their tight end position a little more. It's a Thursday night game, and I don't see Adam Thielen coming back from a high ankle sprain that quickly. Last week, Conklin had 7 receptions for 56 yards. Not bad from a tight end, and he should be getting some more work. And the last tight end on my list, I have Cole Kmet. He's had 18 targets in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty good for a tight end. I'm not really excited because he doesn't have much touchdown upside, but if you're looking for a tight end that's going to get targeted, he's one of them. Moving on to the defenses. This is actually where you can get some value. You got the Saints going against the Jets. That's a fantastic play. The Packers versus the Bears, who can't seem to put it together. The Chargers versus the Giants without Daniel Jones. I was already excited if you had Daniel Jones, but you don't have Daniel Jones, definitely fire up the Chargers. The Broncos versus the Lions. Yes, I know they got their first win, but the Broncos should be able to take care of business defensively against the Lions. And DeAndre Swift is a little iffy, so if he doesn't play, that makes it even a better play. And last but not least, the Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars aren't a great team, but the Titans aren't a great defense, so kind of evens out. So that's going to do it for your waiver wire for this week. If you have any questions, hit me up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. See you next time, Bay Nation. Good luck on your waiver wire. Peace.